Hello, welcome back to Heretic Owl Tarot. My name is Liz, and this is a reading for the 4-1 Human Design Profile, the Opportunist Investigator. Honestly, I wasn't even going to start doing the Human Design Profile. I don't have any chapstick on this table. Rude. Okay. I'm like a chapstick freak, so I can't believe. Anyway, all right. You guys would not leave me alone. So, yeah. That's okay. I really do wait until the energy of readings shows up around me anyway. I do not have a schedule at all, ever. I tried to have a schedule and it felt absolutely terrible and made things miserable for me. So then I finally came to the realization that I'm wait, I'm the one that's making up this schedule and telling myself I have to do this in a certain way or something. I don't know. Anyway, the fourth lines kept kind of just poking at me, just like the energy. So I'm starting with the 4-1. I'm going to do the 4-6 next. Okay, so this is a 3-card spread. The first card is your current energy. The second card is an energy that's leaving or that's no longer serving you. Also, even the past is coming up. I don't necessarily attach the past to it, but that did specifically come through my head as I was talking about it. And the third card is the energy that will be available to you or that's coming in. And of course, if you haven't done so already, I would absolutely love it if you subscribed to my channel. And let me just shuffle a few times here. I don't take the jumpers for this spread. All right. There we go. All right. Current energy is the 3 of Cups. What's leaving? The Tower. Love that. What's coming in? The Fool, bro. This is so good. To clarify the 3 of Cups, we have the Devil. To clarify the Tower, we have the Magician. Interesting. And to clarify... Look at all this. To clarify the Fool, we have the Star card. Look at all these major arcana cards. We have the High Priestess at the bottom of the deck, the Empress, Death, and then the 2 of Cups. Oh, God. No wonder the energy was just poking. I haven't been reading the bottom of the deck, but I am going to just leave it there. Interestingly enough, too, the High Priestess is 2. We have the Magician out here, that's 1. We have the Fool out. Okay, listen. The High Priestess is 2. The Empress is 3. The Death card simplifies down to a 4. I don't know. I might be reaching there, but all that tells me, anytime there is any type of progression at all in a reading, that tells me that we're moving through energy. At least. Not to mention we have 15, 16, 17. All in the same reading. 38 simplifies down to an 11. I honestly just hope that I do this reading any type of justice at all. Because it does seem, it does feel obviously very powerful with... There's one minor arcana card on the table, bro. All right. Well, the 3 of Cups and the Devil card. I simply put, toxic relationships. And this doesn't feel it's not romantic relationships either. So, platonic relationships, business relationships, it could even be some level of codependency in some aspect. It could be emotional monitoring. Because, the 3 of Cups talks about networks and friends, and it's honestly very fourth liney because, fourth line is all about the connections that you have, like networking, being able to foster, like those connections, your best opportunities being found within the people that you know, acquaintances, like familiarity with people. And the devil card is the things that control us. It is toxicity. It could even be illusions. Just smoke and mirrors is almost really how that's coming through. And it's also interesting because, there's these two goats on here, right? But there's this moon behind it, and there's this big focus on, for me anyway, my eye keeps going towards the dark side. And, I did mention illusions before. And, there's this image of the moon here. But then the back image is also the moon, just flipped. So the dark side is over here. Can you see what I mean? So anyway, just the illusions of things. There's this chain going between these two goats with the scissors. I always think of the cartoon Hercules with the sisters, and they would cut the string of basically somebody's life, right? And there is a severing of ties here, and maybe it's even something that you are considering. Poisoned fruit, I keep kind of looking at this fruit here, even just the difference in the imagery between this card and this card. Because all these little flowers, they appear to be welcoming. I guess they're little glasses. I thought they were flowers. They're glasses, which is actually kind of funny because I mentioned illusions, right? But it's the more that you look at something, the clearer the picture becomes. And this is current energy, right? So this is telling me that there is a situation or people, groups, whatever, in your current energy field that maybe the longer that you look at the situation, the picture becomes more clear. And, maybe there is some type of toxicity that is happening there, or like a control thing happening. Like power struggle, that's coming through. And, the scissors are here, right? But they're not on their way to cutting through this chain yet. I do have a deck where on the devil card, again, there is a string that's going through it, and the scissors are on the string, right? So the scissors and then the string is between the blades already. So that one is more really one motion, and you cut through that stuff. But on this card, there could be some consideration happening there still. And it's interesting that we do have the Tower and the Magician in the position of what is leaving. This really feels like trying to put out a fire one bucket at a time is how it feels. You feel like you're doing what you can, and, throwing a ton of your own energy at it, but it's not getting anywhere, it's not really helping. And, maybe at every turn, there's something that changes because, the Magician has every element available to them. There's fire, water, earth, air available on there, right? And the Tower card is like sudden change, sudden upheaval, structures crumbling, ideas, beliefs, right? I mean, it can feel very dismantling. And even this little raccoon, just like, how their hands are up and they're just like trying to throw something at it. Or also even trying to prevent it. Like if I was more vulnerable, if I, did more, if I threw more money at it, if I came up with better ideas, something from every element. And this is the energy that is no longer serving you or the past. But I'm kind of curious what the book says about the Tower card. When constructs we've built have served their purpose and become outdated, the Tower represents the need for immediate disassembly. Change is the name of the game. Many fear the Tower, but the best we can do is allow chaos and make room for change. Don't dig your heels in. There's no need to resist and no need to fear. You'll make it through this. The Tower is in the middle of the hero's journey. You're just about to get to the good part, but only if you allow everything to fall apart first. That's, the whole illusion of, control. And even like the more that you try to control things or the more energy that you put into something that is literally like the energy is like, I'm just trying to leave. And you're like, no, I can fix this. I can control it. I can, whatever, instead of just allowing it to just be. The Magician is the master of 4 suits: Wands, Pentacles, Swords, Cups, and all 4 elements: fire, earth, air, and water. The wisdom of the Magician may seem like quite a jump from the youthful naivety, whatever, of the Fool, but the Magician can represent the adolescent self. One who is excited to have gained access to the physical, creative, and spiritual tools at hand, knowing that results can be achieved if only you put the work in. Channel your inner artist, find a new perspective on the tools, create space for inspiration, release what remains dormant. Honestly, what I was even getting from that is inner child stuff. Like this is maybe even especially even with the Devil card, whoever these people are in your life, the 3 of Cups, they could be triggering something in you. It's like, your body, your body keeps a score thing, right? Like your body is remembering an experience and, there's a belief or a behavior attached to that experience, right? And then when we get triggered, we tend to go right back to being in that energy. And this is the energy that is leaving. So this is a real opportunity to approach things differently. We can't control, obviously, like what other people do. And even this whole process being, a good reminder of that, if we are trying to control everything, it's that whole keeping your side of the street clean thing. You can't clean the whole, you can't be responsible, I should say, for cleaning the whole neighborhood. I mean, you could be, but then you can't be pissed when, nobody does their own shit. They weren't doing it before, which is how you ended up doing it, right? Like it's just an analogy. So drop the broom. worry about like your own integrity, about your own decisions, how you are approaching things, and Also the Tower is Mars. The Magician is Mercury. I don't know where Mercury is right now. I could look. Mars is in Cancer, retrograde. And that shit has been rough. Really rough for, I feel like, a lot of people. Most like content that I've seen about this particular Mars retrograde, most people are like, it's fucking me up. And Mercury's in Capricorn right now, and the devil is Capricorn. So, there could be some communication going on, not to mention they're actually opposing each other. Let's see. Mercury's at 26 degrees. Mars is at 22. So not directly opposing, but pretty effing close. And honestly, it's even kind of cool that came out. So just, and obviously, like, it would depend on where Cancer and Capricorn are for you, right? But even just taking a look at those houses, like for me, I'm a Cancer rising. So Mars is in my first house, which my moods have been so volatile, like more, and I feel like I've been just like a boiling pot. And there's been a couple times that I have totally boiled over, almost literally just to like release the pressure, and it has released the pressure. But so then Capricorn would be my 7th house of other people. So, it could be, and there has been some communication conflicts. I'm not great at conflicts or communication anyway, but I definitely have been better. Anyway, this isn't about me. I'm just giving an example of how that looks as somebody with a Cancer rising. Obviously, again, if you have Cancer anywhere else, it would depend on, like the principles, the properties of that house. And if you're feeling that in areas of your life, I think it's honestly really fucking cool that these two cards came out and they're literally opposing each other right now. Like, what are the odds? These ones not so much, because it's Uranus and actually Uranus. Are they both Uranus? Yeah. That's kind of funny. Where's Uranus right now? In Taurus? Yeah. That is actually really kind of funny. Both of these cards, Uranus is the modern ruler of Aquarius, and the star card is the card of Aquarius. So, Pluto, oh my God, Pluto is in Aquarius. It will be for the next 19 years. And the sun is in Aquarius right now. They're pretty close together, I believe, too. So what is that, a Kazemi? So, Pluto is the planet of like big transformation. It's like, it's the shit that's not going to happen overnight, but is going to make you uncomfortable for a while. But also it's like, and it doesn't necessarily have to be obviously uncomfortable, but it's change, and change can feel uncomfortable, and transitions, and literally seeing things differently, approaching things differently, especially with Aquarius too, right? The innovators, they're not going to follow what everybody else is doing, right? Like, very interesting. But, the Fool card is taking a leap of faith. Talk about change, right? We have this kind of change that can be uncomfortable, that we do tend to resist. And that resistance is what causes even more discomfort. And then we have this kind of change that there's a surfer on here. There's, a rabbit hopping around. I mean, like, it really is like this trust and ease of something. It's also too like making the decision. It is like for me, I see the Fool card as like literally that minute before you make the decision to go for it. Right? It's like that point in time where you're like, you know what? It's either going backwards, it's either staying still, or it's moving forward. I can continue in the way that I have been doing things, operating in these relationships, how I've been allowing this energy in my life, how I've been resisting this or trying to put all this energy into it, or even just the whole coming from it from an old belief. Or I could make a decision to go about it differently, to literally go on a new journey. The surfer thing just keeps giving me chill vibes. Like, I could just relax and see what happens. I could trust the process, because there's a lot of surrender that goes in to the Fool card. There's also a lot of trust, because you do have to trust that, first of all, you're making the right decision. Second of all, that you take that leap and a net is going to appear for you, or the path is going to open up for you. Right? It's like not being able to necessarily see things, like very clearly or even very far out, but knowing that the path will open up for you, right? I mean, there's a lot of trust that goes, but also even too, the net has always shown up. When has the net never shown up? The proverbial net, right? It's always shown up. The path, whatever it was, the path opened up every single fucking time. The Star card, like I said, it is trusting the process. Faith, hope, right? But I also see the Star as being literally that space between the ethers, the 5D, where, we try to float around in when we're, trying to meditate and get into the fields, as Dr. Joe calls it, or, that space where maybe we co-create, we get clear on what we want to manifest into our 3D, into our reality. So again, the Star card is like, the literal space between the 5D, all out here, the field, whatever, all out here, and the 3D down here where we are. And it's, melding those two things together. And it really is like trusting that those two things, reality and, reality in the sense of where we live, the 3D where we exist, and those manifestations that we are working on, pulling down into our lives, right? That's beautiful. This could even be reimagining that. Whatever this process has been here, it could have totally affected the things like going forward. There's a sense of freedom in that, really, if you allow there to be. I mean, truly, the sky is the limit, right? I mean, like, we're limited by our own imaginations. So truly, there's a lot of freedom in revamping what this whole shit looks like for you. I think what's also interesting too is that, there's this rabbit jumping around. There's also a butterfly. I just noticed that. Transformation. But even just these, this flow of water here coming out of the Star, which, I mean, that could be tears. Those do look like two different eyes. Seeing things from eye to eye, there could be a new level of understanding here because, yeah, those are two different people. Two different people's eyes there. So either seeing things with a different light, like, I mean, truly something brand new, seeing things the way that you didn't see them before. Even just like being a bit more chill about, how you are approaching things. Being open to having a conversation about sharing your thoughts, sharing your ideas, because these are both air cards. Air, has to do with our mind and our, thoughts, our mindset, the beliefs that we have. How do we communicate those things is also truth and honesty. So even being open to having, a conversation and people getting on the same page, because it's interesting. There's even 2 stars on here. Beautiful. I literally heard in my head, that's it. So, okay, that's it. I will talk to you soon. Thank you so much for allowing me to read your cards. Bye. Just kidding. I was going to start shuffling the deck and like going through, my closing process that I do after every reading. And I was like, oh, I didn't even talk about these cards at the bottom of the deck. So I did just want to go through them because I think that there is a reason why they showed up. So High Priestess, being in tune with your star player, right? This is also like very fated. Like there's something that's around you. There's something that's coming up. There's, whatever the next thing is. It's like the timing of it is now. There could even be secrets that are, revealed too, because like I said, even, being open to having a conversation, there could be some truths that were hidden for a long time. And also even with owls, right? Like there's a wisdom quality to them. So even, knowledge, but I also see owls as being guardians. So like, it's like a protected time. We have the Empress here, which the Empress talks about, it's the divine feminine, right? So it's nurturing, even, these 2 otters here and how, they're embracing each other, which is a big difference than we saw with the 3 of Cups and the Devil card, right? So, again, just nurturing something, the divine feminine, it doesn't have to be, of course, a gender, but just the energy of intuition, flow, receiving, even, approaching things softer versus, in a masculine energy, it's more confrontational. It's a little bit more aggressive, which, I know I was talking about Mars retrograde in Cancer. It's like literally, Cancer's like, I just want to have this conversation. I want to love everybody. I want to express my emotions or whatever. And then Mars is like, I just want to burn shit down or whatever, right? So, anyway, definitely the energy is available here to approach things softer. And then we have the Death card after that, which would, the Death card, anytime I see the Death card, I always say a new beginning disguises itself as an end. Something has to end in order for something new to begin. Even this road here, right? It's like literally a new route, a new journey, like there's no traffic, you're clear to go. And whatever this is, it is like clearing the air so that, there's less congestion, I guess. I don't know why I keep trying to like go with like traffic terms. And then we have the 2 of Cups. Mutual respect, right? Like pouring into each other's cups. Everybody has a full cup, So everybody can pour from that full cup. And also, I think, let me see. Oh, can I find it really quick? There it is. Look at, so I was talking it over here, right? The dark side of the moon, the light side of the moon, right? This side, it's like the opposite, like the moon turned. Can you see what I mean? And now the sun, this is either the sun or, because there's like rays coming off of it. And, the sun is all about rebirth. It's about joy. It's about bliss, right? And especially coming after the death card. It's clearing up like any kind of shadow, any type of dark shit that might have just been around, right? So I think it was important because it's kind of like, okay, well, what's coming up? What's coming up next? And all those major arcana, like truly the odds. Okay, I'm officially done. Bye.